Okay, this is video 1 from Unit 4, Lesson 2. So we're going to start talking about slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, so this is slope-intercept form. It's the equation of a line. So when we graph it, it'll be a straight line. It's y equals mx plus b. So m stands for slope, and b stands for the y-intercept. So y-intercept is where our line crosses the y-axis. Okay? And it's also where we'll start graphing. Okay, so if I look at this graph here, and it's just a 10 by 10 graph, and let's say I want to do the equation y equals 3x plus 1. Okay, so that means that my slope is 3, and we like slope as a fraction because it's our rise over run, and my y-intercept is 1. So that means I start at the y-axis at 1. And then from there, I'll use my slope, so I'm going to go up 3, because it's positive 3, and right 1. Up 3 from my starting point, right 1. I could also go the opposite, so positive over positive is the same as negative over negative. So I could go down 3, left 1. Okay, and then I want to connect these with a line. Okay, so your lines should go all the way through your graph. They don't just stop. They're continuous, so then they also have arrows at each end. Okay, so when you're doing this, I want you to have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 points at least, just so you have a good idea of what your line looks like. Okay? Alright, so I want to identify the slope and y-intercept from each equation. So let me write our form again. So mx plus b, where m is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Okay. Alright, so the slope is always the one next to x. So my slope here is negative 2. And I'll write that as a fraction, negative 2 over 1. And my y-intercept is 4. Technically, the point 0, 4, that's the ordered pair on the graph. But you can just write 4, that's fine. Okay, number 2, the slope is the one next to x, so negative 2/3. And then the y-intercept would be negative 16, since there's a minus sign there. Alright, for 3, you don't have an x, so that means slope is 0. My y-intercept is 4. Okay, on 4, we have the x, so we have the slope. What we don't have is a y-intercept, so our y-intercept is 0. Okay, moving on. Now let's go the other way and write the equation. So again, this is slope-intercept form, mx plus b. So y equals 3/8 x, that's your m, plus 6. Okay, and then here, y equals 2/5 x minus 1. Now let's practice graphing. So let me label these 10 by 10 graphs. Okay, so for my first example, okay, so my slope is 2/3. My y-intercept is -5. Remember, the y-intercept is where you start, so start at -5. Then from here, we use our slope. So it's +2/3, so that means up 2 and right 3. Remember, it's rise over run. Okay, up 2, right 3. You can go the opposite and down 2 and left 3. And then connect these with a nice straight line all the way through your graph. Arrows at the end. Okay, next one. So my slope is -3, and if it's a whole number, I want to put it over 1. And my y-intercept is -1. So start at -1 on the y. And this time my slope is -3, so I have to go down 3 and right 1. So the negative only goes with one part, either the numerator or the denominator. So you could have it with the denominator, then you would go up 3 and left 1, but it's still the same pattern and direction that you were going. Okay, draw a line. Okay. Alright, now I want to work backwards. I'm going to use the graph to write the equation. So what I need to identify is my slope and my y-intercept. Okay, so y-intercept's the easiest to figure out, so that would be -1. And then when we want to find slope, remember we find just another point that we can tell that our line goes through. So I think it goes through right here. If I do the slope, I'm going to use that triangle. So down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and right, 1, 2, 3. That's -4/3. Then once you have the slope and y-intercept, then it's just like these right here. Okay, so in the second one, now's a good time to pause and try to do it on your own. Alright, so my y-intercept is positive 2. Okay, slope here and here. So I go up 3, positive, and right 1, positive. 3 over 1. So you can write 3 as 3 over 1 or 3 in your equation. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. Something else I want to note real quickly. Alright, so horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal lines go through the y-axis, so they have the equation y equals. So that would be like y equals 4. That's horizontal. So horizontal and vertical have special equations. They either just have an x or just have a y. Vertical lines go through the x-axis. So their equations are x equals. So for example, x equals negative 2. They just have an x. Okay. We're ready to do Unit 4, Assignment 3.